Morning, good evening, namaskar, sabai.
Can everyone please mute their microphone? We are on live now. Good morning, namaste, Jai Nepal, Jai America. I'm Somnath Ghimire, the president of Girija Prasad Koirala Foundation America chapter, and I'm moderating this very historic event today from New York. It's office of Girija Prasad Koirala Foundation America chapter, located in Woodside, Queens, New York. So today we are in this historic event, welcoming you all. Today's event is our 38th series that we have been doing this event every month. Once we take out our time from our very busy schedule, especially in New York. Today's event highlighted on focusing our great leader, fearless leader, and a statesman of Nepal, late Girija Prasad Koirala, and we are celebrating his 98th birthday. He is also our father of modern Nepal, former Prime Minister of Nepal, and we celebrate his birthday every year with various programs all over the world. And different programs were organized to celebrate Koirala's 98th birth anniversary and commemorate his contribution to the nation. And as we all know, former Prime Minister of India, Mohan Singh, has said, a mass leader and a statesman whose knowledge and wisdom guided the polity of Nepal in the right direction at a critical juncture in the country's history. And also the Prime Minister of People's Republic of China, former Prime Minister Wen Jiabao, remember the late leader Koirala as a statesman and an outstanding political leader of Nepal. Likewise, former President of the United States, Jimmy Carter, termed him as a hero, my hero. So he is the hero of all our people who reside in Nepal and abroad. And he has guided us a very exemplary mission, bringing the Maoist conflicts lasted for 10 years from 2005 to 1996 to 2005, 10 years, which killed more than 17,000 innocent people in Nepal. And he is the only one leader to bring them into the mainstream politics and sign the peace agreement with 12-point agenda. And he was supposed to be nominated in getting Nobel Peace Prize, but we will be still trying to nominate him, as he is no longer with us, but his life, legacy, and struggle for democracy always be remembered. So without any further delay, I will give some rules of this event today. Each panelist will be having 3 to 5 minutes to talk about the life, legacy, and struggle of democracy of our great leader, late Girija Prasad Koirala, and a minute for your own introduction. And to begin with our event, I will call upon Honorable Sujata Koirala, the leader of Nepali Congress, influential leader, women leader of Nepal, former Deputy Prime Minister and former Foreign Minister and central member of Nepali Congress, and the daughter of our legendary leader, great leader, late Girija Prasad Koirala, for her remarks on this very historic day. Please welcome Honorable Sujata Koirala.
Thank you, Somnath ji. Can you hear me? Thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
I would like to express my respectful tributes to my father, Girija Prasad Koirala, former Prime Minister, former head of state and leader of democratic movements in Nepal, on his 98th birth anniversary. As the president of the Nepali Congress, he took the initiative to end the decade-long Maoist armed conflict in Nepal. He led the process of mainstreaming them into a peaceful, constitutional, democratic polity. From around the world. I appreciate you all taking time to join this program. I thank Somnath Ghimire for organizing this event to mark the 90th birth anniversary of Girija Babu, affectionately addressed as Girija Babu. My father was a born rebel in the political Koirala family. As his only child, I hardly got time to spend with him. He was most of the time fighting from his hideouts against the repressive Rana rulers. Girija Babu worked as a labor in jute mills, organized political movement by organizing labor union. He was arrested and put in prison for several years under rigorous conditions. From that day, he became even more committed to the democratic movement and never looked back. It is hard to do justice to his personality in a few minutes. He was not only my father and guardian, but also a guide and towering leader of the democratic movement in Nepal. I will be brief about his role in democratic movement, opening up economy, initiating economic reforms after the restoration of democracy in 1990, and his contributions to the country and international community. Democracy remains in our blood. The struggle started from my grandfather, my father, and uncles were all in politics. My uncle led the popular movement of 1950-51. After the first ever general elections in 1959, my uncle BP Koirala led the government. But the king dismissed his popularity elected government in 18 months. The king not only imprisoned the elected prime minister, all ministers and political leaders, but he also dismantled the parliamentary system of governance. Girija Babu was active in organizing the party to revolt and restore the democratic system. He remained at the forefront of all political movements. He became the first elected prime minister after the restoration of democracy in 1990. He opened the economy and initiated reform process. He invited private sector to make contributions in the building of economy. Schools, colleges, universities, hospitals, airlines in private sector started under his leadership. He was, during his time as prime minister, that social sector reforms were initiated. Roads and communication facilities were extended to the countryside in the remote areas of Nepal. He believed that well-connected Nepal and opened up economy will do better both at home and abroad. He put in place the regularity and structural framework for economy. He invited foreign investments and accordingly amended domestic laws to facilitate its smooth flow. The foundation he laid is sustaining the economy till today, despite the weak performance of the governments in following years. In 2005, he took the initiative to end the Maoist bloodshed in the country. The country was gripped in fear and confusion. Girija Babu took all parties in confidence and worked to create an environment of providing security to the common people, restoring confidence in the nation and freeing the society from fear. On his call, thousands of youths joined the democratic movement. He wanted this fight to be the last one. As he used to say, let the future citizens not have to fight for democracy lifelong as I did. Girija Babu was the architect of the Nepali peace process. He brought them from the war to peaceful constitutional process. The signing of the Comprehensive Peace Accord in 2006 formally ended the decade-long Maoist conflict. He put in place the elected Constituent Assembly to write the constitution by the people's representatives. It was under his leadership that the elected assembly voted to do away with the autocratic monarchy and establishment of the Republic Nepal in 2008. His mantra to strengthen the foundations of democratic Nepal was Ekata Sahamati Sahakarya, means unity, understanding, and collaboration and cooperation. He was concerned with the plight of downtrodden people and showed his commitment for their upliftment. He instituted scholarships for students coming from the poor families. He started midday meals to encourage the school enrollments. There are several initiatives he took for their welfare and upliftment. He remained the most active leader to travel the nook and corner of the country and get acquainted with the problems of the people. At a time when people suffer from COVID-19, he would have been prompt in procuring vaccines and protect people's life. On foreign policy, he was a practical and pragmatic leader with due regards to geographical realities and sensitivities. He strengthened the roots of independent foreign policy. Girija Babu always maintained a delicate balance in foreign policy, earned the trust and confidence of our big neighbors and the international community all at a time. He always insisted on maintaining consistency in foreign policy to earn credibility. We can go on and on in recalling his contributions and dedication to the country and the people throughout his life. I welcome the distinguished participants to this virtual program and look forward to hearing from them. I wish the program all success. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for elaborating the works and life and struggle of Girija Babu by his Girija Babu's daughter, Honorable Sujata Koirala. Now, I'd like to call upon Honorable Gerard Acharya, the former Nepalese ambassador, Nepal's ambassador to the United Nations, for his remarks on this very historic event. Please welcome Honorable Gerard Acharya.
Thank you, Somnath ji. Can you hear me, everybody?
Yes, go ahead, yes.
Okay, thank you for inviting me to talk or briefly about the Girija Prasad Koirala. I had the fortune of being the first ambassador to the United Nations after the restoration of multi-party democracy in Nepal, for which we had to struggle 30 years against the panchayat, partyless panchayat system. And the Prime Minister who appointed me to the United Nations was Girija Prasad Koirala. And I feel very grateful to him eternally, as long as I am alive, because what I am as a little diplomat today is because of Girija Prasad Koirala. Actually, because of my role in lobbying for democracy in the Capitol Hill in 1990 with the congressmen and senators of the United States of America, he had actually asked me whether I would like to go to Washington, D.C. as an ambassador of Nepal to the United States of America or to the United Nations in New York. I said to him, because I lived in Washington, D.C. for 7 years, because I went to Georgetown University to do my PhD there as a Fulbright scholar, I wanted to go to New York and also expose myself to multilateral diplomacy. And he was so kind to give me such a choice and appointed me there. I worked there for 3.5 years, and before the midterm elections, he had given a speech in the Parliament of Nepal in which he elaborated on the achievements of his foreign policy as Prime Minister for that period from 1991 through 1994. Later, he would recall that period as a golden period of his government in terms of foreign policy. Later, Sujata ji became foreign minister, and she made a very good presentation, a very comprehensive evaluation of Girija Prasad Koirala as a leader. And as you also pointed out, and Sujata ji reiterated, his greatest achievement was toward the end of his life. That was bringing the Maoists to the peace process. 10 long years had witnessed 17,000 innocent people getting killed in the countryside of Nepal. And he was also instrumental in bringing the Republic of Nepal. I often say this with strong belief that if Girija Prasad Koirala had not agreed to turn Nepal into a republic from monarchy, no other political leader or party could have done that. It was him. He was the kingpin. He was the main, part of the engine of this transition or transformation. And I think it was because of his personality that Nepal became a republic rather peacefully. Today, I would like to listen more to our foreign friends because I've seen their names from different parts of the world, and I would like to stop here. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, Honorable Gerard Acharya, for your brief remarks on our legendary leader, late Girija Prasad Koirala. Now, we have very committed on the time and time strain, so we have different slots for different speakers. So I just follow the protocol of time management. And now, without any further ado, I would like to call upon Guruji, His Holiness Dilip Kumar Thankapan, who is the Secretary of the Committee of Religious NGOs at the United Nations. Please welcome Guruji Dilip Kumar Thankapan.
Om Loga Samasta Sugino Bhavandu Loga Samasta Sugino Bhavandu Loga Samasta Sugino Bhavandu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste everyone. Good morning, good night, good afternoon. It's my great pleasure and honor to join in this event, especially with the Koirala family. I remember when I met him the first time, I was looking, he's a leader, but his simplicity attracted me. I take personally as a mentor. He is a mentor for many. Here I like to thank Honorable Sujata Koirala. I know she is going to lead the country very soon. We need leaders like her, especially women leaders. And the work supporters like Sri Somnath ji in New York. And the ambassador, I want to congratulate ambassador, became as a ambassador to the United Nations. You made a foundation shown for Nepal at the United Nations. Now, Nepal embassy is one of the leading group at the United Nations. That's because of you. I have to congratulate that part. And the way Girija Prasad Koirala ji led the country is remarkable. I know India had sometimes tough situations with the country. He stood with India. Same time, he didn't allow India to take over. That's a plus point. Always we had to keep the dignity of the country. He kept the dignity and he tried to do his best in the country. I know it's very hard to control people because they have different attitudes, different politics, but he is the number one I remember as a leader in that country to take care of people. I have always acknowledged that he should get the Nobel Prize, but people like us, we love him. That is bigger than the Nobel Prize. Remember that one. When you stand for the people, when you take care of the people, that's a real leadership. A lot of time people want to be a leader and they won't do anything for the people. Here, I urge everybody to support Miss Sujata Koirala ji to take the country in a leadership position. My prayers always with her and family and all the supporters. We need leaders like this to rule the world, actually. That's the way I always think. Because people need a passion to take care of people. That's the number one for a quality for a politician. That you have it. I'm looking forward. Any support from my side, I'm here and my people are with you. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Guruji, for your great statement that you had faced with our great leader while you were in Nepal. I believe that was 28 years ago.
Correct.
Yes. Thank you so much. Now, I'd like to call upon our another young youth leader, young energetic leader who was very close working with our great leader Girija Babu when he was in Nepal, and he is also the former General Secretary of Nepal Students Union. Please welcome Dr. Yada Pandey.
Thank you, Somnathji. Program Chair, Honorable Sujata Koirala. We usually call her with our love, Sujata Didi. Distinguished guests and panelists. First of all, I would like to thank Somnath Ghimire for this opportunity. Earlier this week, we were in Newark City in GPK Foundation office to remember great leader Girija Prasad Koirala. I shared some of my personal interaction with Girija on that program. We all know that Girija Prasad Koirala's life and actions are always in public arena. Nothing is kind of hidden. It is already there in public. As every great leader in our country or history, he has gone through some controversies, as he has taken some steps which has changed the course of Nepal political history. As Ambassador Acharya stressed earlier, that Nepal now changed to republic without any, I would say, the bloodshed. It's a peaceful transformation to republic country because of his leadership. No doubt that he is a courageous and fearless leader. However, today I'm sharing my personal interaction and experience with him. I first met Girija Prasad Koirala, we usually call Girija Babu, in Kathmandu, Jamal office, then banned Nepali Congress Party in 1998 as an young 17 years in Teresa campus as a biology major there, and a group of students along with me went to party office to visit our leaders. I still remember that at that day, Kishunji, Ganeshmanji, and Girija, three leaders were there, and a couple of students were there. I don't remember what other people, these leaders said. They said something, but I only remember that at the end, Girija told something about being courageous, being active in the student movement at that time. Nepalese Student Union's activity, we started to meet more with Girija Prasad Koirala. I had very frequent interaction from 1990 to 2005. During 2001 to 2005, I was in Central Member and General Secretary of Nepal Student Union. I think that is the most important time in our history. I would say that there was a lot of changes during that time. Girija was Prime Minister and then he had to resign. The Maoist insurgency was in very, very peak time. There was an inter-party struggle between us. Nepali Congress was divided in two parties, and it was a very, very critical time. During that time, as a General Secretary of Nepal Student Union, I had an opportunity to meet every day with Girija Baba in the morning, usually in Maharajganj, his residence, and sometimes in Sujata Didi's houses in Mandikatar. In some of the meetings, Sujata Didi was also present there. There were times when we were happy. There were times we were not so happy. I have an impression that Girija Prasad Koirala had a very, very courage to listen to everyone, even though he was not agreeing. There was a huge difference in leadership between he is a so tall former prime minister, party president. I was a general secretary of one of the organization, many organizations, sister organization of that party. But when we disagree, we could say it. And then he could listen. And the next day he will call us and say that, oh, this is the way we have to move forward. There is a very, very rare quality with the leaders all over the world. I have met other leaders too. It is a very, very difficult quality to find to a leader, to listen, even if he's not liking what he wants to listen. And then he has a capacity to convince. He always treated us as a member of his family, not as a party cadre. I always feel that I was a member of that family. So he also treats us as a family member, not as a party worker or party co-worker, party cadre. That is a culture of Koirala family. I think that has bound most of the Nepali people in a democratic movement. It is our property, I think. Before leaving to US in 2005, I last met Girija Prasad Koirala in Pokhara. It was a Nepal Student Union's inaugural ceremony, and I had an opportunity to share the stage with him. I had also an opportunity to speak on that session. We remember that was the famous speech he gave there. He was talking about the two rivers. One is the river of republic, and another is the river of full democracy. And he told that once the two rivers met, we will be no way to turn back. And he challenged the then king that compromise or understand this reality. Actually, the king couldn't understand at that time. And then finally, as he predicted, these two rivers, full democracy and republic, met together. And now we are a republic, democratic country of Nepal. In 2010, I returned to Nepal to meet my parents. But before going to the Bhutan, western hills of Nepal, I went to Kathmandu and went to meet Girija in Maharajganj. I remember it was March 5, 2010. His health was not very good, and then most of the people were not allowed to meet him. Only a few people are allowed to meet him. I was lucky enough when he got the message that I have returned to Nepal to meet him, want to meet him. He gave an opportunity to meet him. It was a 20-minute meeting. I still remember that meeting. There are other two persons who were present in that meeting. Krishna Prasad Sitola and Shekhar Dawer were there. Initially, he asked about me, and he knows my son too. He asked me about my son and my family and his study. I thought that I talked about my one thing and asked about his health. He said that my health, he told me that his health was not good, even though he looked very, very bright at that day. And then when I went back to visit my parents, they were also in Western Hills, Bhutan district. When I returned to Kathmandu, we were in the streets of Kathmandu Valley with the other thousands of people in the funeral procession of Girija Prasad Koirala in 2010, March 21. I returned to Kathmandu on March 20, and then at that day evening, I was with Sujata Didi in our residence there. And the next day we were in funeral procession. So in short, I would say that there are a lot of student leaders like me. They have opportunity to interact with Girija Prasad Koirala. He always inspired us in a bad time, good time. And then he always asked us to work for the country, work for the party, work for the people. And he also asked us to better ourselves, be educated, be good, be trained to serve for the country. And he's an inspiring leader, fearless leader. There is a lot of things to be told about Girija Prasad Koirala in future. He's one of the tallest figure, and Nepal's in his time he has turned the history. So It was a great opportunity here to talk about his legacy here in his 90th birth anniversary. And thank you very much for Somnathji giving me an opportunity. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yada Pandey for your valuable information that you share while you were with Girija Babu during your political struggle as being the most influential youth leader and former Nevisong, we call it Nevisong in English, Nepal Student Union's former General Secretary. Thank you. Now, I will go to the other parts of the world. Let's go to Japan now, Tokyo. I'd like to welcome Dr. Yasuyuki Nemoto, who is also the advisor to the office of Masaru Emoto and second grade EMF measurement expert from Tokyo, Japan. Please welcome Dr. Yasuki Nemoto.
Yeah, thank you, Somnath, for your introduction. My name is Yasuyuki Nemoto. Congratulations of 98th birthday of the late Girija Prasad Koirala. I have been telling the people that our consciousness can change or affect matter. I respect the late Koirala very much. Personally, I have not been involved in politics. I have only been involved in voting. But from the website, I learned that the late Koirala's nickname was Fearless Leader. Being a fearless leader or being fearless is, I think, one of the most important personalities nowadays. I believe that we have to express what we believe with honesty and sincerity in any situations. We should express ourselves no matter how powerful people are influencing us and asking us not to do so. It would be more important in this era with a lot of fake news. Even in science, there are many dogmatic ideas. If you are a real scientist, it is the most exciting thing to have a new idea that nobody ever thought about. Yet, there might be a lot of obstacles to such a new idea from those conservative people. We need to overcome them. This is what I have been thinking when I learned that the late Koirala was a fearless leader. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much for your short and brief remarks on the celebration of 98th birth anniversary of our great leader, to Dr. Yasuki Nemoto. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Accepting our invitation from Japan. Next, I'd like to call upon Dr. Dawer Nadi. He is the founder, president of Afghanistan Peace Association, recognized by United Nations, NGO recognized by the United Nations, and he was the former presidential candidate in Afghanistan election 2014. Please welcome Dr. Dawer Nadi.
Thank you. I'm very pleased and honored to be among you all, and I would like to congratulate Ms. Sujata Koirala for organizing the celebration of the 98th birthday of former Prime Minister of Nepal. I know about him a little bit. I know he was a fearless fighter for democracy, and I share the values that he fought for in Nepal, and it is something that I'm doing for Afghanistan. In 1914, I nominated myself I ran for president in Afghanistan. One of the competitors that I had was the current president of Afghanistan, Ashraf Ghani. We were unfortunately at that time, due to great corruption in politics, were removed from the list of candidates. That is something that actually stayed with me, and that is because I know there is not going to be peace in Afghanistan unless there is full democracy in place. A lot of people say that when there is no justice, there is no peace. I definitely agree with that. But justice, or beginning to bring justice to any nation, starts with democracy, respect for individual rights, for human rights, for political rights of people with whom you do not share the same values or they are opposing you. If you do not respect the rights of the opposition, then there is not going to be peace in any country. I believe that theological, ideological governments or dictatorships in the countries anywhere in the world are not going to be stable forever. And people are definitely becoming aware of their rights and their dignity, and it has to be respected. No theological, ideological, or dictatorships can run the country forever. So therefore, democracy is a mandate by nature of the needs and wants of individuals, of the rights of the individuals, that has to become a reality in any corner in any corner of the world. And I know late Prime Minister of Nepal really struggled and fought fiercely to prevent killings and fightings of about 10 years in Nepal to finally democratize that nation. And that's a great honor. And we believe that people like him can only bring peace around the world. And any one of us, anywhere in the world, have to act locally but think globally, because we are all, nevertheless, or one race of human being. And when we have the same kind of system in place in our countries, that way we could understand each other better. Never believe that justice is only one-sided expression of views. It always takes the other side to also be able to criticize us, pick on us, tell us what's wrong with us, because sometimes people believe that when they bring food, materialistic comfort, or even economic comfort to other people, but give them no rights to participate in it, they think it's going to be peace. That is not going to be peace. People love to be free. There are people who do not care for so much of economic comfort or materialistic life. They want to be free. They want to be free to express their views. They want to be free to think. They want to be free to believe in whatever they want to believe. And democracy can only democracy can provide that. So for having said that, I could share these values with former Prime Minister of Nepal and anyone around the world who share these values, because if we do not have our freedoms, if we do not have the freedom of thinking and believing in and expressing ourselves, there is no such thing as democracy. So I definitely support multi-party system in Afghanistan. That's why I ran for president, because in Afghanistan, as you might all know, there is a war that almost taking half a century and millions of our lives going away. There is a struggle between theocracy and democracy in Afghanistan. Unfortunately, there are mistakes being made nationally and internationally that democracy, or people who are pro-democracy in Afghanistan, are being put under pressure and in a very weak position. But we believe that we're going to finally win, because the majority of the people of Afghanistan or anywhere in the world love to have the opportunity to be free, to vote, to elect their leaders, to be participants in their society and feel dignified and feel that their participation actually matters in the determination of their own destiny. So having said that, I share those values with the former Prime Minister of Nepal, and I thank you very much for letting me say a few words here. And I'm very honored, and especially Mr. Sujata Koirala that invited me here And for that, I would like to say thank you very much, and let's keep in touch forever to make sure democracy is established in all corners of the world. Thank you.
Yes, great. Thank you so much, Dr. Dawer and Nadi, for your very required statement in this 21st century. So there are challenges, and likewise, there are opportunities. So democracy is the only powerful pillar that can bring everyone safe, peace, and development in anywhere, in any corner of the world. Thank you for your very sweet remarks.
Thank you.
Next, I'd like to call upon Aaron Paul, who is British recording artist and a pop star. Please welcome Aaron Paul for the remarks on this historic 98th birth anniversary celebration of our great leader, late Girija Prasad Koirala.
Good afternoon, everybody, and good morning.
And also,
sorry, I'm here in New York City, so it's morning here for us, but a pleasure to be here to celebrate your former Prime Minister, the great Honourable former Prime Minister of Nepal, and it's my pleasure and honour to be here. I thank Dr. Leong Ying for inviting me to participate in this world event. Though I never met him, and I know very little about him, but I've learned over the last couple of days what a great man and leader he was for your country. I'm only a simple recording artist, born and raised in London, but I share the same values and prospects for the world, including Nepal, for all that he fought for and established for your country. So once again, it's a pleasure to be here, and I look forward to participating again and the success of Nepal on the world map and stage, and using my voice to help get that. Thank you very much.
thank you so much, Aaron Paul, for your sweet remarks on this historic event that you joined, and we look forward to working together in the days ahead.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Next, I'll call upon Dr. Leong Ying, who is the creator of the Clay Star. Please welcome Dr. Leong Ying. He's also the mentor of myself and other.
No, he's flattering me. He's my mentor. I follow Somnath, what his accomplishment. So I thank Somnath for inviting me on this most auspicious occasion. I am blessed also to have met the Honorable Sujata Koirala here in New York when we gave her an award from the city in 2019. And her father is an absolutely powerful legacy for the world to follow. Regrettably, this world has been very disappointing in producing great leaders. I can only name 3 leaders that I and others look up to. They have taken adversity, the darkness of a nation, into light. Those you probably all know are Nelson Mandela, who took an apartheid nation into democracy. And then from my own birthplace of Singapore, the great Prime Minister Lee, who took a colonial nation into democracy and independence. And then finally, the great Prime Minister Koirala, who took a monarchy into democracy. So you see that trend from apartheid democracy, from colonialism to democracy, from monarchy to democracy. And as Dr. Nadi, my fellow colleague that I'm working so much, he said, absolutely, Afghanistan, for have peace, gotta have sustainable democracy. So I hope we all here will come and make our effort to also support what is being hopefully being accomplished in Afghanistan, and that it doesn't spiral back into war. So with my heart, and Dr. Nadi know, I am working very, very vigorously to hopefully turn Afghanistan into the future Nepal. Okay, so the legend is the man. I cannot say enough words to cover how great Prime Minister Koirala is. And obviously, I said to you, I'm very honored to meet the former Deputy Prime Minister, Koirala herself, who is a proud legacy of her own father. Okay, but I have a personal story that I want to quickly tell you why I so love the nation of Nepal and why Nepal is so magical and spiritual to this world. Right? This is my own personal story. This is a leaf, gentlemen, a Buddha leaf, for those that know. Okay, I was blessed to be in Nepal in 2018 on my journey around the world before I completed Istanbul. Those that follow my story, okay. I found this leaf in on a Buddha tree. Now, I was told by my guide in Nepal that if you pick a Buddha leaf and it has the image of Buddha on it, it will bring you luck, okay? So I asked her, she's been doing lots of years, how many people have seen the image of Buddha on a Buddha leaf? And she said, never. Well, I was blessed to pick this. You can't see it now, but there's an image of Buddha and I can send pictures to it. So the reason why I said the story is my love for Nepal became embedded. I am spiritually, my heart, my soul, my body is with Nepal. Nepal is a magical occasion, okay? So I was blessed, and I do genuinely believe, whether you believe it or not, I do genuinely believe that it was a fated sign that Buddha showed me on this Buddha leaf. And you see, this is a 3-year-old leaf, and you see, I have not preserved it. It is as green as the day I picked it. A 3-year-old leaf, okay? There's no competition, no, that leaf decays after a few months, okay? So that is a story of my personal journey into Nepal, into the great nation, which the Prime Minister Koirala turned into a great democratic, peaceful, loving nation that it is today, okay? It would not be without that great man, okay? And I am blessed to also, and I will support with the bottom of my heart with everything that I can for the current Sujata Koirala to basically ensure that the legacy that her father created for Nepal is continued for the future. And similarly, I will work with all our collective organization. I'm so proud to see Andrea, Aaron, Dr. Nadi, Noelle, to be part of this collective that will ensure that the legacy that the great man created in Nepal and Nelson Mandela in South Africa and Prime Minister Lee in my birthplace, Singapore, is also taken all around the world. So thank you again, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your brief remarks on this historic event, Dr. Leong Ying. Next, I'll call upon Andrea Wen. She is the founder, creator of One World, One Humanity. And also, she is also the international journalist. She is joining us live from Madrid, Spain right now, right? So please welcome Andrea Wen for your remarks.
Thank you very much, Nadi. Thank you very much for having me here, inviting me. It's a huge honor for me to be with all of this, among all these prominent panelists in such a special occasion that is this 98th anniversary. As an international journalist and as a creator of OHAO, this global social movement for peace, I have followed the great success of the former Prime Minister Koirala in transforming his country in the successful, stable democracy that is today. And it's beautiful to see that the GPK Foundation America honors his legacy still today. I just want to express all my admiration and support to Madame Sujata Koirala. We need leaders like her father and herself to keep writing peace in history, because peace will only be possible if we have prominent leaders, people that can actually do something, giving their hearts to their nations and to the people, so we can all unite. That's my contribution, and thank you very much for listening. It's overwhelming to feel all this love and support for people that share these same values for peace. Thank you very much, Somnath, and everyone.
Thank you so much for your short and sweet remarks, Andrea Wen. She's joining us from Spain, right? Madrid, right? Yes, thank you. Now, our next special honorable guest, Honorable Noelle G. She just joined us, and she is the first Chinese American receiving the highest French award from the President of France, Emmanuel Macron, the award called Chevalier de la Légion d'Honneur. Please welcome Noelle, Honorable Noelle G for her remarks on this special event. Please unmute, please. Unmute.
Hello and good morning from New York. Thank you for your kind introduction, Mr. Ghimire. It's my great pleasure to join all of you in celebrating 98th birthday of Nepal's great father, national father, His Excellency, former Prime Minister Kamara. I'm sure by celebrating his life achievement, I'm sure his spirit and his legacy will continue to inspire people all around the world, especially young generation, to devote to the public service, to continue to work hard towards a better world in achieving United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. As we all know, 17 SDGs in poverty alleviation, in basic education, in public health, in water quality, in infrastructure, in environment, and transparent governance, etc. And I would like to congratulate GPK Foundation's great work in Nepal, in America, as well as in the rest of the world. And myself, I started my career with the United Nations system, first with UNICEF in Zambia, and then with the World Health Organization in Zimbabwe, dealing with HIV/AIDS prevention 20 years ago, and also children's immunization in polio eradication work. And during the pandemic lockdown last year, I wrote my first book. It is a picture book called Noelle, World Citizen and La Vie en Rose. I'm glad to present this book to my audience worldwide. It's a bilingual English-Chinese picture book. I shared my different aspects of my career with UN in the art world and also in fashion. I'm glad that I can, Mr. Ghimire gave me just 1 minute to talk about this book. Through this book, I shared my Chinese or Asian cultural heritage, my French education and knighthood, my American optimism, and professional activities that I conducted in New York, and also African sunshine. I shared some years of my working experiences in Africa, especially in Southern Eastern Africa, in Zambia and Zimbabwe. So I look forward to the feedback of my readers. I think most people can read English or Chinese, and one day I hope I will be able to publish this in Nepal, in Nepalese language. Even I have never been to your beautiful country. I'm sure after pandemic, this is one of my first destination. I look forward to visiting Nepal. And also last, I think audience, you can easily find this book, Noelle, World Citizen, La Vie en Rose, by just Google my name, Noelle Share, or find on eBay. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Noelle G, for joining. Despite your very busy schedule, thank you as for your time availability. Thanks again for joining and putting your valuable words on this historic event. We look forward to being with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have she just confirmed now. She finished. She was not sure whether to be in the panelists or not, but I will call her for her brief statement, 1 or 2 minutes, our ambassador, Dr. Sima Karetnaya. She is the United Nations Global Peace Ambassador and medical expert at World Health Organization and the recipient of Golden Seal of Peace Award. Please welcome Dr. Sima Karetnaya for your brief remarks on this very special and historic event.
Yes, good morning and great greetings from New York to Mr. Ghimire and to everyone else present. I was introduced to the beautiful culture of Nepal and the beautiful country of Nepal from from an event that happened over the last few months. It was a mayoral election here in New York City. And as we know, the historical win of our great friend, the current Brooklyn Borough President, Eric Adams, has been an extremely exciting and relieving event. So thanks to Eric Adams and the campaign, I was introduced to a number of Nepalese individuals. And what I want to say is that there used to be a term in ancient history known as the utopian society, which means everything is perfect, positive. Everyone is living by the plan of the sustainable future. And that's what I can say about Nepal. It is an incredibly positive energy with lots of hopes for improved healthcare, socioeconomic and cultural systems and developments. And what I want to say is that Nepal is one of the countries that the entire world needs to take an example from, because though many people think and have an opinion about Nepal being a small country, something not look up to, but I personally think that it's the smaller countries, it's the countries that many bigger countries and nations are not paying attention to, are what's holding our world in place and what's holding our existence in density. So I would like to commend the foundation that organized this particular event today and is organizing many different events all across New York City and New York State, which I actually see and witness and follow on a daily basis. I would like to commend you guys on your continued support towards humanity, towards multicultural initiatives, because this is the second part of what I am doing. I am a public health expert, but I am also pushing public health, multicultural initiatives for the purpose of eliminating hate against culture, race, ethnicity, and religion. And I would like to extend my most heartfelt gratitude and offer for collaboration in working on those multicultural initiatives on the United Nations level, which is the highest level a multicultural initiative can be in. And thank all the other panelists and guests present, and looking forward to a great, great new beginning. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sima Karetnaya, for you joining us in the last minute, because you had a lot of busy schedule. Thanks again for joining, and it's our honor.
My biggest pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Now, without any further delay, let's go to Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. Please welcome Teresa Nacli. She is the founder, chairperson of Vision of the Future Foundation, and UN NGO recognized organization. Please welcome Teresa Nacli. Teresa, are you there?
Yes. Yeah, she's there, but she needs to unmute. Teresa, you need to unmute your phone.
Unmute, please.
That's good.
I don't know.
Yes, go ahead now.
Yes? Can
Yes.
I go now?
We can hear you, but we cannot see your video.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Maybe we come back to you.
Yes, I'm going to go back.
We'll come back to you, okay? So next,
Okay.
let's go to India now. Please welcome Bindu Bhushan Dubeji, National President of Udghosh and also the convener of Ministry of Water Resources, Government of India. Please welcome Bindu Bhushan Dubeji. Unmute, please.
Namaskar. Do you hearing me, Somnath ji?
Namaste. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. My great tribute to Honorable Girija Prasad Koirala ji today. He was not only the leader of Nepal, he was world leader. We Indian people was taking the inspiration as well as put away to how to go for world leadership. He was have a great vision. I must congratulate Honorable Sujata ji that she is taking towards all kind of knowledge she has taken from Honorable Girija Babu. And I am grateful to you, Somnath ji. Today, my personal tribute as his great follower to Girija Babu. I remembering him as a political father of Asian region. During his tenure, I remember I was just pass out student from my university. Every day we were hearing his statement from Kathmandu, and it was indication for his humbleness, his great vision. The relation between India and Nepal when Girija Babu was Prime Minister was excellent, not before that, and till today it was not like that. He was a great human being. I will not take much time because lot of people are waiting from world level Somnath Babu. My humble homage, my tribute to Girija Babu, and in future I will request you practical seminar for few days about the life. We should think over it. We should discuss over it as the philosophy of Girija Babu and a great Indian politician, Atal Bihari Vajpayee. He was equal to Vajpayee in my heart and my mind. Again, my homage, I am grateful to you, and my great salute to Sujata ji also. Namaskar, Bande Matram.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Bindu Bhushan Dubeji, for your very sweet and to the truth statement about our great leader, Girija Prasad Koirala. He was not only the leader of Nepal, like you said, is still follow his legacy. He's the leader of the world. Set an example, peace in the world, development in the world, democracy in the world. Thank you so much. Next, I'd like to call upon Dr. Kazeem Bello. He is the CEO of Africa Capital and Equity Funds from Nigeria. Please welcome Dr. Kazeem Bello for your remarks on this historic day.
Yeah, thank you, Somnath. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you, and all due protocol observed. Pay tribute to our great leader, Girija Babu. When I was in the college some 20 years ago or so, we were reading history of Asia, including the great transformation going on in Nepal. And little did I know that one day I will have the opportunity to speak, to pay tribute, glowing tribute to such a very dynamic and a visionary leader. One thing I wanted to say that all have been said about Girija Babu is a great leader. There's no exception. He's a great leader in the quality and passion of Nelson Mandela and American President Udu Rusin in the UK and the rest of them. No matter how small Nepal could have been. One thing, the reason why I decided to participate in this forum is because Nepal and the country where I come from, Nigeria, have exactly the same. We are in a monarchy. We transform from monarchy to colonial regime to republics, and unfortunately, we have not been able to get it together as of today, July 8, 2021. After almost 60 years of independence, Nepal has gone through that and they have succeeded, not only because of anything, because of the energy and experience of leaders like Papu. So I wish we could use this as a platform to find a collaboration to help us with the folding democracy in Nigeria. We also, like I said, we have almost the same pattern of similarity. We are multi-religious, we are multi-ethnic, we are everything just like Nepal. And if Nepal can get it right, Nigeria can get it right. And we look forward to further future participation and cooperation. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much for sharing and comparing Nigeria's democratic movement with Nepal's democratic movement led by our great leader, late Girija Prasad Koirala. Hopefully Nigeria will be a democratic country, full-fledged very soon. We are with your mission together. Next, Teresa Nacli, are you ready now? From Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Teresa Nacli.
She looks like she's just starting to connect Somnath. So I can see her. She's listed iPhone. She's not changed. So she's reconnecting.
Okay. So while she's reconnecting, our next speaker, he just joined, Dr. Kazeem Bhattarai. He is also the advisor of Girija Prasad Koirala Foundation America chapter, and he worked very closely with our great leader. Welcome, Dr. Kazeem Bhattarai.
Thank you very much. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Can you hear me? I'm in a very difficult place now, and so can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir. Go ahead.
Respected Honorable former Deputy Prime Minister Sujata Koirala, Sujata Didi, and distinguished guests, thank you for the opportunity to speak to Somnath ji. And today, to remember our great leader, I would like to state the situation of the country and then what his contribution was about. I worked very closely with him as a government employee, and I worked very closely with him. And what he said to me at that time was that what I speak, I commit, I accomplish that, and what I don't accomplish, and I don't speak. That is what he said. And regarding this today's natural disaster like Melamsi and in other areas, and what natural disaster we have been facing, he always advised us to have the safe settlement of people. He never ever allowed this bulldozer technology in the fragile mountain. He was not a geologist, he was not a geographer, but he has all the knowledge of geology, the fragile mountain. And he always advised us first to plan and have the safe settlement of the people. And with the climate change, the people who are suffering now are the low-income people and who do not have their settlement and who do not have their shelter. So in the name of the development, please never ever destroy their settlement and their livelihood. That is what our leader, great leader, told us. And we have to inherit that. And today, it is not being followed properly. And everybody has a bulldozer. They are allowed to dig the land, to damage the fragile mountain. And many people have been homeless.
Nande,
I think I will have to stop here. My connections has been disconnected. I would like to just thank you.
It's fine. Go ahead.
Thank you, Somnathji, for the opportunity. And I think that there is some disconnections from my cell phone. And so I pay my tribute to our respected leader and for his contributions. And I wish the people followed his message that always have the safe settlement and never ever in the name of the development, never ever destroy the livelihood of the poor people. That is what our great leader said, and we need to follow his message today. Thank you very much, Somnathji, again for the opportunity. And I will have to stop here because of the poor connection. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us your remarks on this special day. And our advisor, Dr. Keshav Bhattrai.
Somnath, Teresa's back in now, but I think she's connecting to audio.
Okay, so please welcome Teresa Nacli from Brazil. Are you ready now?
Teresa, you need to unmute, Teresa. Unmute.
Now it's okay?
Yes, go ahead. Good.
Yes. Oh, God. Thank you for the invitation. It's an honor to participate this, to honor the Minister of Nepal on his birthday. And I was reading about his life and his struggle, and it's an example because I'm comparing to my life. It's nothing what I'm doing, you know, and it is a struggle also, but comparing what he did, what he brought democracy, an example for the world. You should, you know, it's part of the world history. In Nepal is, I think, one of the sacred places in the world. It's a place that I always wanted to know, to be. And they say, for you to go to India, you need to be invited. You cannot go by yourself. So I was waiting for an invitation. And one day I will go. And I'm comparing with my project because I'm a family of a refugee from the Golan Heights on Mount Hermon, also one of the highest spots on earth. Mount Hermon in the Middle East, at least, is the highest. So I'm much connected with the highest spot on earth, like Machu Picchu in South America. So always connected. Even I've never been there, I'm connected. And I think it is my spiritual soul. It's my energy that needs this higher connection to receive whatever I have to receive to accomplish my mission on earth. And to know about his life, his struggles, what he did. And it's as an example. And even when his friend told about United Nations, that's the first thing I did when I arrived at United Nations and then asked for a job as a volunteer. And I told about my project. And they say, but this is a volunteer, you cannot do nothing. So I know, I just want to know the system. So I wanted to know how UN works, because UN just works as a big office for all over the world to meet together, to talk about peace and dialogue. It's a big stage, and I admire very much. And I'm very happy to be part of this conversation, this dialogue. And I thank you very much to invite me, and thank you, Leong. And I just want to tell you about a little bit about my project on the Golan Heights. My family is from there. We have documents for more than 1,000 years. Means that our DNA is from Golan Heights. My father was born there. I'm the first generation in Brazil as a refugee. So I'm not a soldier. I'm not an army to fight to get back. So I'm just fighting with my own love energy to prove, because the biggest problem today when they talk about democracy, there's no democracy until we have the weapon industry interested in making war. So do you think they want to stop the war? When I look at Netanyahu, I see him as a boy toy of the war weapon industry, because Israel buy more than $3.5 billion a year just in weapons. Against who? The Palestinians that don't have nothing, then why they have to expose their body and they call them terrorists? You know, that's not fair. We have to start to speak up and stop this weapon industry and these big sellers, because there's no war if there's dialogue. There's war when the weapon industry put there. So stop America to make money in our blood. Thank you. Thank you.
So much, Teresa, honestly, for your very sentiment on your statement. And that's right. We have to follow the path of Girija Prasad Koirala, who led our nation during the time of bloodbath, that time, 10 years, more than 17,000 innocent people's lives were lost from 1996 to 2005. And it only happened, it only succeeded with the vision and leadership of our great leader, Girija Babu. There is no any possible way you carry guns, there is no peace. So
no peace. That's that I'm saying. I'm from Rio. You see, I'm from.
Exactly did our Girija Babu follow the path, and we will bring peace around the world.
Amen.
Peace and development. That was his mission. His mission will be mission. We are always on his path to bring democracy around the world, to bring peace and development all over the world. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Bye.
Next, we have a guest just joined us in this platform today. Please welcome Dr. Sujata Koirala, she is the managing editor at BJP Samvad, for your short remarks. She is the journalist also. Sujata Koirala. Are you there, Sujata? Sujata ji, Dr. Sujata ji? No, so I think she had a connection problem again. Next, we have our invited guest from Patstar district in Nepal, President of Nepali Congress Patstar, Narendra Kumar Kerung, for your short remarks on this historic day. Please welcome Narendra Kumar Kerung, President of Nepali Congress Patstar district. सभापतिज्यू पाँचटा सभापतिज्यू नरेन्द्र केरुङज्यू अनम्युट गर्नु होला। Okay, once he comes back, we'll call him again. Now, this historic event is being joined by our Girija Prasad Koirala Foundation America Chapter's Vice President Subarna Lama and Working Committee member Ramchandra Adhikari, and who is also the spokesperson of Girija Prasad Koirala Foundation America Chapter. And I'd like to acknowledge some of the audiences that joined us. Mani Lola's iPhone, I don't know his or her full name, Ramdev Chaudhary. And now, to conclude this event, this historic event, I will invite our Vice President, America Chapter Vice President Subarna Lama, for the thank you note.
Jai Nepal, Jai America, good morning. I have the honor to thank you, Honorable Sujata Koirala, for our leadership and all our distinguished guests took your precious time of and join us on global virtual 90th global birthday celebrations of Father of Modern Nepal, former Prime Minister of Nepal, and our fearless leader, led Girija Prasad Koirala. Girija Prasad Koirala Foundation America chapter look forward to working together with all respected global leaders under the leadership and guidance of Honorable Sujata Koirala, the Center President of Girija Prasad Koirala Foundations. Thank you so much. Stay safe and well, everyone. Jai Nepal. Thank you, President.
Thank you so much for your short and sweet remarks. Thank you note on this special occasion. Now, I would like to conclude this very historic event today by saying Samati Sahakarya Ekata, which is our Honorable Sujata Koirala mentioned earlier in her speech, agreement in disagreements. As we all have disagreements, thousands of disagreements, but there is one agreement among the disagreements, that is Sahamati. Sakarya, cooperation, coordination. Anyone, wherever we are, we can cooperate and we can coordinate to bring peace, development, and unity, the most important word, unity, that is Ekata. This will change the world. This will bring democracy, peace, and development around the world, following the path of Girija Babu, which we name all over the world. He is known as Girija Prasad Koirala, the great fearless leader and statesman of Nepal in modern history. Under his leadership, under his guidance, Nepal got Democratic Republic of Nepal, the full-fledged democracy now. And we want to strengthen, make more stronger, the pillars of democracy more stronger and stronger days ahead, working with, collaborating with all you global leaders around the world. We would like to have your advice, suggestions, support, and help in this regard. Please share your any valuable inputs, valuable ideas, anything you can share us through our central member Gmail. I'll write it down in the chat, gpkcenter@gmail.com. Also, you can reach out to our Central President, Honorable Sujata Koirala, in her personal email, so it's very easy. That's koiralasujata@yahoo.com. And please share your views and thoughts moving forward. Thank you for joining this very historic event. Our respected panelists, distinguished leaders of United Nations, global leaders, youth leaders, and social activists, journalists, human rights defenders, and you name it. We are there for democracy, peace, and development. Thank you all. Stay safe and well. Bye-bye. Namaste. Have a good day, good night, good evening. Jai Nepal.
Thank you. Jai Nepal. Jai America. Jai Nepal.